What do you do when all your best efforts hit an absolutely immovable wall? Doesn't it seem like the times we're living in right now, this is the experience of just overall existence? Tell me the truth, how many times do you ask yourself in a day if any of it, anything you're doing matters at all? When things are this dire, shaking oneself out of the stupor of surrender becomes the most important and yet most difficult thing to do. And to conquer this inertia, even the expression of radical empathy with each other has to be militant almost. Let's talk about one battle after another. Come on. Hey all, my name is Sucharita. Welcome back to my channel where today we are talking about one of my absolute favorite filmmakers of all time, Paul Thomas Anderson, who is out with his new film One Battle After Another, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Chase Infinity, Regina Hall, and Tiana Taylor in the lead roles.
Thank you, Sensei. Thank you. God damn it! Viva la revolution!
The film opens in flashback. My guess is this is the mid-noughts. Tiana Taylor is Perfidia Beverly Hills. That's her name. She's an activist, revolutionary, a leading member of an underground group called the French 75. She is walking with purpose on a busy flyover. The camera pans down and you see that underneath this urban monolith is a sort of tent city full of some solid and some rudimentary holding cells. You're at the Otay Mesa Immigration Detention Center, which is a very real place on the America-Mexico border. As soon as these words appear on the screen, telling you where you are, geolocating the opening scene, a fourth wall is just shattered. PTA is very aware what these moments are going to invoke in today's climate. It is also a stark reminder that all the stuff you're hearing on the news about ICE raids and everything it's doing currently, it is not new. The disenfranchised in America have been treated extremely poorly for a very long time. But coming back to the film, soon you meet Perfidia's other comrades, including her romantic interest in this film, who's played by Leonardo DiCaprio. His name is Bob Ferguson. They're anarchists. They're advocating for free borders, free bodies, free choices, and freedom from fear. However, in her adrenaline-fueled reverie, Perfidia runs afoul of Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw, who instantly makes it his life's mission to not just take down French 75, but personally ensure the taming of the wild Perfidia. On account of being a hardcore sexist and racist, he hates the idea of this black woman being anything more than a sexy being who should be submissive to him. This character, Lockjaw, is played by Sean Penn. Loosely adapted from Thomas Pynchon's 1990 novel Vineland, PTA's writing aims to explore the many contradictions of existing as a complete human being with any beliefs in the world right now. When the story jumps forward 16 years, PTA turns his gaze to the teenaged Willa, Bob and Perfidia's daughter. Willa is maneuvering a world where her parents' activism is long dead and has been replaced by a paranoia dialed even further up. Bob watches movies like The Battle of Algiers when he's at home, but he's wearing a ratty red bathrobe. Drugs and alcohol have replaced the fire of his youth. And this moment again, when the film is at its most defeatist, it's the most reliable. There may never be a way to shield a younger generation, the future generation, from the ill effects of this world's social structures. Numbing the pain with the help of external substances might just be the only way to cope, the film seems to be saying. Now, as Lockjaw inches closer in his never-ending hunt for this family, both Bob and Willa must devise ways to escape him. Chase Infinity, who you might remember seeing in the Apple TV series Presumed Innocent, she's an electric performer. She's at pace with the fevered velocity of PTA, Leo, and Sean Penn combined. This young actor channels her character with a wonderful mix of teenage snark and naive young adult optimism. True to the film's title, the screenplay keeps all the actors on their toes, one battle after another. Benicio del Toro turns up as Sensei Sergio St. Carlos. He's a mentor figure both to Willa and Bob, despite the three of them never actually being in the same room or the same frame together. Sergio also hides undocumented immigrants from the authorities and is a complete unpredictable weirdo, characteristic of so many supporting characters we've seen in Paul Thomas Anderson films. I mean, at one point, the man starts dancing in the middle of the road for no reason, having been flagged down after a chase with the local cops. Kooky, fun.
Winner don't quit on themselves.
Coming back to what I was saying earlier about the cynicism you might detect in this film. At one point, when a character heeds a major call to action, everybody seems to be living in an America where white supremacy has won. All comparatively feeble defenses against it have been quashed. Black women have been punished for daring to organize. Academics have been hunted down. And a literal cabal of rich, old white men wearing Patagonia sweater vests are running powerful, super secret, literal underground clubs deciding on matters of life and death. Despite the familiar setup and people, this setting feels apocalyptic. And here it allows a little ray of hope to flutter in your heart that maybe all in real life is still not lost. We've not reached here yet. Or have we? Now, aiding this hopeful dream is some excellent physical comedy from Leonardo DiCaprio, sort of cooling things down when they get too heated. Bob might be washed up, but he too has an underground tunnel backup. So what if it exits in a literal toilet in the middle of nowhere? The constant half-planned mode of existence that Bob lives with, it opens up plenty of room for gags. Really going out of his way to reduce himself to an abject, bumbling fool, complete with ridiculous glasses and hat hair, Leonardo DiCaprio is a galvanic, unpredictable fool in no position to play the stereotypical hero dad. And he doesn't. And he knows, his daughter knows. Making him look even stupider is the all-powerful enemy, Colonel Lockjaw, built like a G.I. Joe, with the might of not just the government on his side, but also a whole organization of white racists ranging in age from young and energetic to senile and decaying. I shan't get into spoiler territory, and hence I won't discuss what makes this character's name so funny, and similarly why Perfidia too is the perfect name for Willa's mother. However, I will point out here, fun observation, the original name of the mother character in the book was Frenesí, who according to Pynchon was named after a song by Mexican composer and arranger Alberto Dominguez. PTA renames Frenesí to Perfidia, the title of another song by the same musician. Perhaps when we do a deep dive live stream on this channel, which we'll get into the etymology, including the name French 75. So you remind me if you join into that conversation, okay? I watched this film in VistaVision format, so perhaps it's the effect of that format, or perhaps Michael Bauman's cinematography, or the relatable sadness brought on by the satire in PTA's adaptation, but I was inside one battle after another by the time the climax rolled around. The director said in a Q&A right after the screening I was watching that because he has 4 kids IRL, he has no option but to live a life of optimism. A sentiment that is visible in One Battle After Another, his most approachable film so far. Almost in conversation with Ari Aster's Eddington for a brief bit, here too there is an indictment of a young person's understanding of the importance of disobedience. But unlike Eddington, here the caricature gives way to characters suffering deep-rooted, long-held hurt that has had no place to escape and hence has burst out, causing maximum commotion. With One Battle, PTA also leans a little more heavily toward his reverence for women in positions of power, and why men have always been worried about the potential of women with influence and with means. Why most oppressive systems, legal and otherwise, are at the heart of it, misogynistic institutions whose main agenda is to invisibilize the female of the species, and why it is eventually only on women to save ourselves, as well-meaning men try to learn to catch up haphazardly. And these studies are not presented as a solution to this fraught relationship between might and gender. But currently, as the world seems to be rapidly backpedaling and undoing a lot of work done by well-meaning feminists who have come before us, making some sort of sense of this mess via drama and high-concept satire is at least one way of engaging with the hellfire. Have you seen it already? Have you seen One Battle After Another? What did you think of it? बताओ comments में बताओ नीचे. I mean, I need to really start discussing these things with you guys, right? Another big film releasing this week is Homebound, जिसका review from Cannes is also on this channel already. Go watch that next. नीचे description में उसका link हम डाल देंगे. My name is Sucharita. Thank you for stopping by.